Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this absolutely adorable little sheep. Alright, so for materials, you are going to want a 3.5mm crochet hook, yarn in gray and white. I use Parfait Chunky to make this sheep, but you can use any size yarn you want. It just might make your stuffed animal come out a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. Sewing needles and a stitch marker. I believe 15mm safety eyes too, and stuffing of your choice. So to start our little sheep, we're going to make the head first, and then we will make the arms, the body, and the ears, and we will assemble everything. This is very low sew. The arms and legs are crocheted on. The only thing that you have to sew is the ears and the head to the body, and of course you do have to do some embroidering. We are going to start in gray with, like I said, making the head. So you're going to want to make 6 single crochet in a magic ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Now close it up, and that is the end of round 1. Okay, moving on to round 2. Now we are going to increase a round. So we're going to put 2 single crochet in every stitch. And then once you've completed that, you can come right back and we'll move on to round 3. For round 3, we are going to single crochet around. Just like that. Alright, for round 4, we are going to start to increase along the top to create the kind of bump where it goes up for the head. So we are going to increase 3 times. And then single crochet 9, and you should have a total of 15 stitches. For round 5, we are going to single crochet and then increase. Repeat this 2 more times. Once you have repeated it, you're going to single crochet 9 around, and then you should have a total of 18 stitches once you are done. This is going to be our final round before we change color to white, and I will show you how I change color. But first, we are going to increase and then single crochet 2. And we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Now we're going to single crochet 8 and pause before you crochet into the last stitch. Alright, so I've crocheted 8 stitches. You should have 1 stitch left. Now we're going to grab our white yarn and we're going to color change. So what I do to color change is on the last stitch, I insert my hook in, pull up a loop, and then I grab my white yarn, and you're just going to pull it through both those loops. And that's going to create a much more clean color change. And once you've done that, you're just going to want to snip your gray yarn, and there you have it. And then usually what I do is once I start crocheting with the white, I will come back and tie these 2 tails together just so that it doesn't come apart and you don't have to worry about it. Alright, so for round 7, we're going to single crochet and then bobble 4, and we're going to repeat that 6 times. So single crochet, and then to bobble, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, repeat that. And because it's a bobble 4, that means we're going to repeat this until we have 4 stitches on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over and pull it through all 4 loops, and it's going to create the cute little bumps that you see on the sheep. Now we're just going to repeat this 5 more times until you have your bumps. Once you have repeated those bubbles until you have 6 on your head, we are going to single crochet 8, and then in this last stitch right here we're going to do another bubble, and that is the end of round 7. Before we continue on to round 8, I would recommend pausing to put your safety eyes in. I place them in between rounds 5 and 6, but you can put them wherever you like. They will be sunk in once we're done, so keep that in mind. Alrighty, round 8 is really simple. All you're going to do is you're going to do a full round of just single crochets, and then we will move on to round 9. Alright, so for round 9, we're going to bobble 4, and then single crochet. Repeat this 5 more times, and then you're going to single crochet 9 to finish up your round. Alright, so for round 10, we are going to single crochet and then decrease, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. Finally, for round 11, we are going to decrease all the way around, and then you are done with the head. Now we are going to get started on our little sheep's arms. Now and legs. These are super easy to do. They hardly take any time, and they're all the same. The arms and the legs are crocheted the same way, so you're just going to want to make 4 of these, and then we'll get started on the body. Now we are going to go ahead and get started on our little sheep's arms and legs. These are both crocheted the same way, so you're going to want to make 4 of these, and then we will get started on the body after that. So you're going to want to get your yarn and your crochet hook, and for round 1 of the arms, we're going to do 6 single crochet in a magic ring. Pull that closed, and you're done with round 1. For round 2, we're going to increase and then single crochet, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times, and that will be the end of round 2. Round 3 is going to be really simple. All we're going to do is we're going to be single crocheting around, so 9 single crochet around, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now for round 4, you're going to decrease and then single crochet, and we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Now for rounds 5 through 7, we're just going to do 6 single crochet around, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to do 2 more rounds of single crochet. And on one side note, you do not need to stuff. You can if you'd like, but I personally don't really think the arms need stuffing. Alright, once you have finished crocheting your arm, it should look like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half, and we're going to single crochet 3 across the top. 1, and then finish off. Okay, so I just finished making our 4 legs, so now we're going to get started on making the body of our sheep. We're going to be using white, and we're going to start with 6 single crochet in a magic ring. Pull it closed, and for round 2, we are going to increase around. Moving on to round 3. Now we are going to single crochet and then increase. And we're going to repeat that around. Alright, so for round 4, we're going to be adding the bottom legs. So what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet 2. And then we're going to increase. Now we're going to crochet the legs onto the body. So to do this, we are going to single crochet 2 and then increase with the leg. So we're going to do single crochet, single crochet, and then instead of 1, we're going to put 2 stitches into this last stitch. So 1, 2. Now we're going to single crochet 2, increase, and we're going to do the same thing that we did for the right leg. We're going to single crochet 2, 1, 2, and then in that last stitch we're going to increase. Now for the last couple of stitches, we're going to single crochet 2 and then increase twice. And that is the end of round 4. Alright, now moving on to round 5, we're going to begin to create the bubble stitches that go around our sheep. These are made the exact same way as the head. So we're going to single crochet and then we're going to bobble 4. And then repeat this around, and that is round 5. I just finished round 5, and round 6 is super simple. All you're going to be doing is single crocheting a round, or 1 round, and then you're done. Okay, so round 7 is the exact same as round 5. You are going to single crochet, and then you're going to do a bobble. And repeat that around. Alright, so I just finished round 7 with our bobbles. And for round 8, we are going to single crochet 4. And then decrease. And you're going to repeat that around. Moving on to round 9, this is going to be our last round of bobbles. We are going to single crochet and then bobble 4. And then repeat that around. I just finished round 9. Now moving on to round 10, we're going to single crochet 2 and then decrease. And repeat that around. For round 11, we are going to be adding the arms. So we are going to single crochet 3, 2, 3, and then grab an arm. And we're going to single crochet 3 with our arm, 2, 3. Now we're going to single crochet 3. Grab the other arm, line it up, single crochet 3 with the arm, 2, 3, and you should have 3 stitches left. So single crochet 3 more, And that is the end of round 11. Alright, last round, round 12. This is a very easy round. All we're going to be doing is single crocheting and then decreasing. And you're going to repeat that around. And once you've finished, you can slip stitch. And then I like to chain one. And you can grab your scissors and leave a nice long tail to sew the head onto the body. And you're finished. Now the last thing that we need to make before we can start to assemble our little sheep and embroider is the ears. So you're going to want to grab your gray yarn. These are super fast, don't take very much time to make. All we're going to do is we're going to put 6 single crochet into a magic ring. And now we are going to increase and then single crochet 2. And repeat that one more time. Now you can just finish off. Leave a tail for sewing. It doesn't have to be too long. And that is your ear. And of course you need to make one more, and then we will start to assemble and embroider our sheep. Okay, it is time to assemble our sheep. I went ahead and stuffed the body and the head, and I closed up the hole for the head. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take these ears and we're going to sew them to our sheep. So you may, or you will probably still have the hole from your magic ring. What I do is I just pull it through to the front like that, so the two tails are together. And then we're going to grab our needle, thread the yarn through the hole, and I like to make sure that the ears are in between these two bobble rounds and pretty level with the eyes. So what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to put my ear right here. So I'm going to go into the side of the head in between the two bobble rounds. And I am going to sew my ear on. And then I do like to tie my ends in, so I will weave them both to the other side of the head near the back. And then I will tie them and cut them. Then you can just pull it through and hide it with your crochet hook, and then repeat that for the other side for the other ear. Alright, so now we're going to embroider the nose and the eyes. This part is definitely optional. If you like how your sheep looks just without any of the embroidery, you can also choose to not do it. But we're going to start with the eyes, and I like to start with white. And I go in at the bottom of the head, and I'm going to pull my needle right about here at the bottom of the eye. And then I'm going to put it back up through here and pull it to the other side. And that is going to create the whites of our eyes. And repeat this on the other side, and then bring the yarn back out this end. Okay, I just finished embroidering the whites of our sheep's eyes. Now we're going to be doing the black at the top. And as you can see, it's kind of sideways, slanted above the eye. So it's going to be about here to here. And we're going to get our black yarn. I like to go in the same spot that I did with my white. And I'm going to pull it up to where we brought the white yarn over at the top of the eye. And then I'm going to pull it over to about right here, right next to this bobble. and pull it out to the top of this eye. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side, pulling my yarn right over here and back out the bottom. And there you have it. Alright, last but not least, we're going to embroider the nose onto our sheep. So I went ahead and tucked away the yarn tails from embroidering the eyes, and honestly, I'm going to go in the bottom of the head again. And I usually pull it out around between rounds 2 and 3 or 1 and 2, depending on how big you want the nostrils to be. And then I pull it back to the center and come out on the other side. You want it to be kind of level with the eyes. It's one little nostril. And 2. And now I am going to pull this yarn up down here. This is in between rounds 2 and 3 on the bottom of the head. Back up through the center of our magic ring and out to where our yarn tail began. And that is your little sheep's mouth. For the last and final step, you are going to sew your sheep head to the body, and you just want to make sure that it is lined up correctly. But aside from that, that's it, and you are finished. So go ahead and sew the head and the body together. And you are finished with your little sheep. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe if you did. I'm hoping to come out with some more free patterns. I have designed another lion pattern using a similar base to the sheep, so hopefully I can come out with a pattern for this guy too.